What comes to mind when you look at this photograph?
You know, it's a sadness, like a caged bird or a caged animal. I was over in Bali to cover the case of Chris Packer, an Australian sailor, yachtsman who had been charged with gun running in Bali. Schapelle had been arrested around the same time. Customs found 4.2 kilograms of marijuana in her boogie board bag. She denied it was hers. There are courtrooms in Bali which are kind of in the open area, and there's a holding cell behind. And I started chatting to Mercedes, her sister, and one of Mercedes' friends. And because I wasn't interested in Schapelle, I wasn't part of the whole pile-on and everything else, they were quite, friendly, we got on well, I was having a bit of lunch. And then I was talking to Schapelle. I thought, look, I'm here for Chris Packer. We're not doing the Schapelle story, but while I'm here, I might get a couple of pictures to put on file that maybe we use in the future if we need to. So I just said, can I get a couple of photos? And she asked her sister for some lip gloss. And she actually undid the top button. She still wanted to look good for the photo. When she put the lip gloss on, and she said, oh, you can take my photo. She said, but give me your finger. Let's make it pinky promise you'll only use last pics of me. She didn't realize how serious things were for her. And then she stands there, and initially she holds the bars, and she's smiling and looking like this little pouty smile thing. There was something about her vulnerability, her innocence, and her naivety, especially in the eyes, that I just wanted to capture, and behind the bars. And I just said, look, can you just hold the bars, put your face up close, and just look at me, and look directly in the lens, and don't smile, don't do anything. And that's the one. It just blew, and the photo went international, went everywhere. It became the defining image of her story. It was on international newspapers. It was in Canada, it was in Europe, it was in Ireland. There were baseball hats, there were T-shirts, there were posters. It was crazy. There was something about Schapelle that just captivated the country and divided the country. Months later, when a trial came, it was the biggest circus I've ever seen in my life. I've never seen live coverage on all the channels of her sentencing. The streets around Queensland were closed off. I've never seen, even for royal visits or anything, I've never seen a bigger scrum of media and cameras than I've seen at the Schapelle Corby trial. With people scrambling in windows, pushing each other, windows were blocked out. The sun was blocked out because all these heads and cameras were poking through the windows. It was just insane. And it was feral. Journalists were pushing each other, camera were tripping each other up, trying to get the shot. It was so loud you couldn't even hear the judge or anything because the noise of the media and everyone else and the people talking, no one really knew what was going on. And I think even Schapelle didn't know at the time. There's this little girl there and you think, well, this is her life, this is her future. That really saddened me because I just thought this is nuts. This is nuts. She was sentenced to 20 years jail in Queensland. At the point, she didn't really understand it. And then I think one of her lawyers whispered in her ear, and then she just screamed, broke down. It wasn't just a scream, it was a wail. It was like this horrific trauma, this just gut-wrenching wail that she let out. And I always remember that. I felt sick. I felt really sick. I felt sick at what was happening to her, because whatever you think of drug smuggling, whatever else, I mean, it is a woman's life. And I felt sick that it happened to her. I felt sick at the spectacle that she'd become. And I think she still believed at that time that she'd get out. It was that just denial and that. And again, to this day, she still claims her innocence, yeah. In 2017, she was released and did 10 years of her sentence. She came back to Australia, but she can't talk through laws about her experience or profit from the experience. So she led a pretty quiet life. I think the media kind of left her alone. She did Dancing with the Stars, which was kind of an interesting career pivot. And now she's got a massive Instagram following, and she makes clocks in Queensland and sells clocks online. These little clocks with surf paintings on them, and that's her life.
If you were to see her now, what would you want to say to Schapelle?
Oh, I kept your pinky promise. I'd say that.